Greetings, blessings, and good fortune, everybody. Here we are again. It's another Thursday here in McAllen, Texas, on KCYP, the city, FM, McAllen, Texas, out of the McAllen Creative Incubator. It's the Bitcoin Honor Show, ladies and gentlemen. We're here. We are here. Last week, not so much. I was sick, got whacked by some flu or something like that. I don't know what it was, but it wasn't fun. But we're back, okay? Went back to work too, so working midnights. I want to tell you, I got nothing really on tap other than the Epstein thing, okay? Nothing really. We're going to roll with some stuff. So you're here. I'm here. Throw me some stuff out. What do you want to talk about today, okay? And we'll go through this also I'm here throughout it, and we'll make sure that we get this. Let me turn the volume down first. But we'll make sure that we – that was the wrong one, Otter. We'll make sure that we get the subjects that we want to talk about. There are a lot of things out there. Oh, believe me, we're going to get into them. It's just that I usually have my notes and stuff like that, and I don't have those, which is fine. So what we're going to do today is we're going to do a little bit of free flow. So how many of you have heard about this drop, right? This Epstein files drop. Probably many of you, maybe not all of you though, because I think a lot of you who watch and listen to this show are like me. You don't follow mainstream media. You don't watch the news at 6 or 10 or whenever they want to regurgitate that stuff all over your living room. You don't do that. You don't sit down and stand or sit for that. Okay, you don't tolerate it because we as human beings can only be lied to so much. We can only tolerate lies so much. So I'm sure to one degree or another, you're similar to me in that respect. Another reason might be, let's say you haven't come to that realization yet, that whenever you're in your living room and you're watching the Idiot Box, only lies come out of it. Perhaps you haven't realized that yet, and you've sat down in front of your TV for the last 2-3 days or whatever, and you haven't heard that an Epstein list or an Epstein lawsuit has been publicized, or the details therein has been publicized, right? So if you don't know about that, that means they don't want you to know. However, many of us, we know, we look on X, we look on, well, probably Facebook, YouTube, Zero Hedge, all those different places where we will find pertinent articles to things that the usual suspects don't want us to know about. So they'll point us out to, Dancing with the Stars, who gained weight, who lost weight, and, who had a wardrobe malfunction, something like that. They'll point those things out to us, all right? The things they won't do, though, the things they won't point out to us, however, are the things that we really want to pay attention to. So tonight, we're going to talk about, and we won't do a long one today. Again, I don't have my notes. We're going to talk about what is the big deal about these Epstein revelations, if you will. What is the big deal about whatever is coming out regarding the Epstein case? Here's what it is to me. Epstein Island, if you understand nothing else about Epstein Island, please understand this. Understand what it was. What was Epstein Island? In a term, a succinct, short, to the point term, it was a blackmail factory. It was a blackmail factory where they brought in raw material in the form of CEOs, in the form of actors, singers, celebrities, judges, politicians, important so-called people, okay? VIPs, as they like to call themselves, okay? We might consider them much different from a very important person, but they certainly do consider themselves important. So this construct, this location, Epstein Island, they call it, right? I'm sure it had a formal term. And his airplane, which was called the Lolita Express, okay? Because there would be many young women underage women, okay, on this airplane, and they would do things in the air that they did on the ground, and it was horrible with these underage girls. So, in essence, Epstein Island was a blackmail factory, and there are many suppositions, many opinions, conspiracy theories, if you will, as to who ran Jeffrey Epstein. My personal favorite is a combination of Israel's Mossad and the United States CIA, because they are lovers, if you will. Those two agencies that, to one degree or another, do and do not work for the countries that sponsor them. They have a relationship. Now, they have a vested interest in information. It is the most valuable commodity on this earth right now. So with that information, and throughout history probably, but with that information, and in this case, blackmail, okay, to elicit this information. So if you have blackmail on somebody, you're going to learn something about his or her, confidants, their circle, if you will. So what really is going on with this revelation of the Epstein Island stuff is that people are being exposed. Did those of us who know how to dig already know the list? Yes. Yes. In fact, the 17th letter of the alphabet dropped in July of 2020, a fairly comprehensive list of the flight logs of the Lolita Express, indicating who were the visitors on Epstein Island. But of course, only people that look at that stuff know what it signified, what it meant, and took it seriously. A Christmas gift here. This was very nice from my daughter-in-law, who, decided that she was going to be nice to me. So here we are. She's a nice girl. So one of the things about this island is that you could be a repeat visitor. Now, it is said, and these are allegations, okay, but it is said that Bill Clinton went a total of 27 times or something like that, something along those lines. Now, according to the drop of, I think, 2 days ago, which, if you're wondering what it actually was, it is data pertaining to a lawsuit from one of the underage girls who was underage at the time, who was abused on probably both the plane and the island, and her lawsuit, the probably discovery, probably all correlating evidence, interviews, maybe even the what do you call it, the stenographer or whatever it is in the court, maybe all that. I don't know what it is, but I guess it's pretty exhaustive. And that dropped. There's a website and everything where you can look at all that. So all of that information was just basically thrown out there. So if you wanted to get, the juicy stuff, you'd probably have to look through that for a while. So I personally haven't seen a copy of the flight logs. Is it in there somewhere? I don't know. But people are able to extrapolate based on names and situations exactly who it is, or even perhaps who's being accused of, being on the island. So who we got? We got Sue, Tammy, and Mike. All right. Marcos, you're here too. So glad to see you guys today. So we're to reiterate, we're talking about the Epstein drop, right? So this came down, and now we're finding that in the court process they had John Doe this, that, and apparently Bill Clinton was Doe 36, John Doe 36. I want to say. Anybody know? Please feel free to correct me. Corinne, good to see you. So during this whole process, what you're going to notice is this. We're in 2024, ladies and gents. This is the first. Hey, I forgot to say that, Joe. This is the first show in 2024.
That's right.
First Bitcoin Otter show. Thank you for tuning in. Everybody who's watching, live. Thank you for everybody that's going to watch this last time. We got, I think, 217 individual views last go around. And I'm very happy, very, very happy that you would find this interesting enough to watch. And please send me the things that you want to talk about. I love digging. I love digging in. I love sharing the information I have. And again, I will tell you if things are allegations, and I will give you the degree of veracity, either in my estimation or what has been vetted and already put out there on channels that have a lot to lose if they do that wrong. And of course, we don't want to do that wrong either. Hi, mate. Good to see you. So that's why I say this whole Epstein drop is about allegations. So I don't know what the actual verdict of the court case was that was, the information of which that was dropped. I don't know all that. So what I'm going to say is that whatever we dig out of there is going to be an accusation. And let me also say this. The 17th letter of the alphabet, that Intel group that has been dropping information since 2017. When they came out with, in January of 2020, they came out with the list, so to speak, of who went on Lolita Express, who went to the island, who these people were, basically. They also have many drops. They have thousands of drops, 6,000 some drops, maybe more, I don't know. But in those drops, they've already declared that, hey, this is the way it's going to roll out. You're going to have a systematic dripping of information. So their exact term at one point in one drop was, the procedure is going to be drip, drip, flood. So information is going to drip out. Probably 1, 2, 3, 5 people here, 10 people there, whatever. And as it drips out, you're going to have, an opportunity, time to process the, I love you too, Jaime. I see that some of that food you put up there, Jaime, you are eating well, my friend, eating well. Not that I'm not either. But what I'm getting at is, at some point, we're going to have time to digest this information. And then at some point, it's just going to come at a deluge. And again, 2020, it was known. The flight log was known. Yet we're still 2024 now, early 2024, and we're still dropping it slowly. But people like me, we're still amazed that it's even coming out. That said, if you have anything else you want to share, you want to throw it out there, let me know, because I'll dig into it and I'll find it out. Oh, Marcos, I've got another video I want to send to you. I saw it, I don't know, a couple nights ago, and I might have sent it to you. I don't know, but anyway, I'll try to get that to you on Lahaina. I think that's the name of the town there in Hawaii, and it had more information on how blue things didn't burn. Interesting, right? So blue cars were in the middle of a road with, maybe 20 other cars that were all burned up. And there's a blue car, a certain shade of blue. And the same with the, what is it, Tommy Bahama or something, like some brand name, whatever. But they were these umbrellas at a club, a bar, whatever it was, some sort of tiki bar or something. And these umbrellas of this same, royal blue or whatever. It's a certain shade of blue that didn't burn. It didn't burn. Okay. Now, of course, as a conspiracy theorist, I have Marcos. You're set. Your house has a blue roof. See, this is what I want. This is what I want. I want my people prepared. Prepared. All right. We're all going to paint our. No, we're not all going to paint our roofs blue. But I'm glad. So, Jaime says you've been noon since drinking. Hey, somebody's got to do it, Jaime. And you're the retired one. So you just keep hitting that sauce. Mikey, glad to see you, Mikey. So I think Mikey's in on this too. Mike knows. Hey, Matt. Sorry he's late. We're on the Epstein list. Matt, my friend, we are on the Epstein list. No, we're not on the list. Okay. The subject matter is the list. Okay. We're not on the list. As you can see in these environs, we're not the kind of people that they would be wooing okay, for an Epstein Island visit. Just want to make that clear. We are not on the list. We are on the subject of Epstein's list, okay? Just want to make that clear, Matt, okay? Thanks for asking. So, Matt, who is also very well versed in the do category, DEW. What is do? For those of you that don't have the conspiracy theory acumen that we have, I'm wearing a tropical shirt. Yes. So hence the Laina, the Hawaii thing, right? So the do is called a directed energy weapon. So the theory is that this fire was so hot, so quick, so uncontrollable, and in the minds of many of us, so well planned because of the property values there, the fact that there were normal people, regular people, us, we kind of people living there still. You know, the parasite class hates us, and they hate the fact that we are on some of the prime, especially those in Hawaii, prime real estate in the world. So they had to get those regular people off, okay? Off of that island, off of that space that they wanted, you know. So some people who had 2-3 generations of a home there, a small home, we're talking about 1,500 square, something like that. Something small, but it was like $1.5 million. Something like that. The property values were outrageous. So they had to get rid of the regular people. And ladies and gentlemen, I don't want to go too far afield, but that's what the New World Order is all about, getting rid of you. They hate you. They hate me. They want to get rid of us. They have no use for us as more than cattle. Sonny Cedu's watching. Glad to see you. Marcos didn't make the list. Good. Marcos F. says Jaime. Didn't make the list. Well, something. You know, listen, there's going to be people that we're going to be surprised at, and there's going to be people we're not surprised at on that list. Okay? But I digress again. This whole Laina thing, the way the fires were started, all that stuff, it's tragic. It's ugly. Children died. Children were corralled, literally, into death zones. That is sad, sick, and twisted. But ladies and gentlemen, this is who the parasite class is. Okay, they call themselves elites. Oh, they're elite at parasitism, if that's a word. Okay, because they live off of us. They can't live without us. But they only want a certain amount of us. Right? The Georgia Guidestones, if you haven't heard of those before, look those up. The Georgia Guidestones, they've been blown up. That was awesome. Somebody blew them up last year. Okay, well, the Georgia Guidestones had 10 rules for life, and it was written by a parasite. And Marcos, what list? Why didn't make it? Oh, you don't want to be on that list, Marcos. We were talking about the Epstein Island list. You don't want to be there. So the whole incident reeks of their style of eradication. So these, back to the Georgia Guidestones, 10 rules. The first rule, and they were in 10 languages, by the way, just so they get everybody. The first rule was keep the world population under 500 million. What are we at now? 8 trillion? No, trillion, not trillion. Billion? We're at 8 billion? Something like that. And they wanted under 500 million. So imagine. Now, they never knew who exactly, R.C. Christian was the name of the person that they put on the monument that got blown up. And they never really figured out who exactly erected those things. And there are others around the country, I hear, some in Arizona or something. But the fact of the matter is that they don't want us on this earth. They want it for themselves. But here's news to them. Not only are there many, many more of us than them, we're waking up. Thanks to people like you who watch the Bitcoin Otter show, people like me who I couldn't sit around anymore, guys. I couldn't. I had to throw out some information. Am I a Tucker Carlson here? Hell no. No way. Not even close. Okay? But when Joe and I met probably about a year and a half ago now, maybe even a little more, and he offered me a slot on his Thursday list of shows that he has, man, I jumped at that because there's been a Bitcoin Otter show in me for a long time. And as you well know, those of you who know me, I'm willing to talk at the drop of a hat about this kind of stuff. Nick, good to see you, Nick. So, Nick, we're talking about a few different things. We're talking about the Epstein Island list that dropped. Well, maybe not the list, but the case. The case that dropped with a ton of information. A lot of people are digging over even as we speak. And then we kind of morphed into the Lahaina Maui fires a little bit and that tragedy. So I'm open, guys. Last week I was sick. Probably still, hearing in my voice. Got a little bit of that lingering. So I don't have my notes. I was just gonna riff on the Epstein Island thing. So if you guys have anything you want to talk to, Pinche Siete, that's it. Where is he? Where is he? Siete, where are you? I put the message out there. If somebody wants to text him. Usually he's out, but is he still in Florida? He's probably enjoying the sun and just forgot that we were on. But Seven, if you're listening, answer up. We're wondering about you. So those of you who don't know Seven, he was going to retire and sail around the world with another friend of ours that they were going to do all this stuff. I think that was prior to the 2020 pandemic. So apparently a lot has changed in worldwide ports now based on what happened in the pandemic. So you would hate to be on a 1,000-mile, a 2,000-3,000 mile leg, and you got to go into port and get supplies, and they're closed because they ran out of masks or some stupid thing. So they didn't want to get into that miasma of crap. So they didn't end up sailing. But anyway, Seven's a good guy. So when we dig into these things like the Noe, good to see you, Noe. The Lahaina fires, okay? And as I was just saying, you could have a regular residence, a regular person would be sitting on a $1.52 million property. So these parasites, these sick people, they can't have that. They can't have average people living on prime real estate. They wanted to develop it. They wanted to, tear all that stuff down. Dare I say, burn it all down, and make the hotels that they wanted, make the resorts, to do their sick and perverted things there too, but also to make a lot of money. And that's basically what they're all about. So those regular people got burned out, literally got burned out, and unfortunately burned up. I believe that a lot of them were murdered. I do believe, this is me. I'm not bringing you in this jackpot, but I believe that there was something hinky about that, a lot hinky about that. And I don't think that it all happened by accident one day. Why do I say that? How quickly it spread, how thoroughly everything just burned, man. And then you might say, well, hey, Otter, the winds were just ferocious, or they are ferocious on that island. I don't know, maybe they are. But how would you then explain things like these blue cars and these blue roofs on some of these buildings that did not burn? Did not burn, ladies and gents. Check it out. Don't take my word for it. You look at some of these videos, and they'll be on YouTube. And the blue cars don't burn. The blue umbrellas don't burn. The blue homes with the roofs and stuff don't burn. So why is that? Why would it be? Brian, good to see you. Jaime says, Siete scared I will tear him limb from. I don't know that he's scared of that, Jaime. I don't know. But if you have been hitting the sauce since noon, as you were saying, maybe there will be something to that. So that fire to me was set. That fire, and the reason why they did it is easy. The normal reason, they don't like regular people. They hate us. So there were too many regular people on Lahaina, and they had to burn them out. Because at the heart of it, ladies and gents, and you're going to see this more and more throughout 2024, you will find a vile, evil hatred on the part of these globalists. Okay? Global communism, I guess you could call it worldwide communism, is growing at a pace that we never would have imagined. And we can see it in our own nation. It's ugly, but it's there. Okay? It's there. And the people that are behind it have no love for anyone, including themselves. But they really hate us because they see us as subhuman. They don't even see us in the species that they're in. Now, they are, hey, Brian. So they are what I call, the parasite class. They are billionaires, whatever. But the fact of the matter is, they are not like you and me. They don't live like you and me. And while we would like to have rich stuff, I wouldn't want to deal with the stuff that they deal with. It's downright satanic at times. So, going back to the original subject, if you guys are all, some of you are coming in a little bit late. We were talking about the Epstein drop. Okay? So, a lot of that information on who was at Epstein Island and who was not at Epstein Island dropped in just a mammoth amount of information on one of those cases that was against Epstein from an underage victim of his sickness. Okay, so who was not at Epstein Island? One, Donald J. Trump was not at Epstein Island. Completely vindicated was the boss. Completely vindicated. His name showed up nowhere. Okay? A lot of scum showed up on that list. A lot of degenerates are on that list that have some modicum of respect in the movie world, the business world, the justice world. Okay? But Donald J. Trump is not one of them. Donald J. Trump did not go to that island. And this is vindication for him. That we all knew. We knew. And I think even, the communists that love to bash on Donald Trump, I think, they at one point or another, they have to realize that the reason why he's not in jail, the reason why, he isn't completely out of the public eye is because he is the most vetted government employee, probably the most vetted person in the world. Okay, the cleanest person in the world, because he's been shot at. Well, maybe not. Maybe not. Literally, but figuratively. How many times? And they can't get this guy. Why? Because it's all lies. Russia, the P-tape, all that kind of mess. Michael, maybe they aren't human. Remember the movie They Live. You know what, Mike? And yeah, we got stuff. But you might have something there. Does everybody remember They Live? One of my favorite science fiction movies, man. Roddy Piper was in this one. And it was directed by one of the best horror directors of all time, John Carpenter. He even did the score, the music of They Live. So the plot of it was that they found these sunglasses. And with these sunglasses, they'd be, knocking around town regular, and they just see, all these signs and, hey, buy this, buy that, or whatever. And then they put these sunglasses on, and they could see the billboards really said, obey, pay taxes, do what the elite tell you to do, and then they take them off and they'd be like, what? And then, it'd be, a liquor ad or whatever kind of ad. And also with these sunglasses, you could put these sunglasses on and you would see, without them, you'd see these regular people walking around. But then when you put them on, you'd see some of these people that had like Skeletor faces, man. And it's like, what the? It's ugly. This person's ugly because it was like some sort of an alien, right? So that, I believe that's what Mike's saying here. What if they're not human? Well, I think you could be onto something, and not just in Kevin. Jaime Sanchez, have one for me or some. Good. We since I do need to work tonight, so I'm not going to partake with you, Jaime. So you just hit a couple for me. Now, back on that whole maybe they're not human thing. Not only is it possible that they're I don't know, hybrids or whatever you want. I'm open to that. We can discuss that. I'm certainly not without any information on that area of information of study. So what I think though, what could also be at play is a form of vampirism. Vampirism, meaning they're like vampires? Are they like the ones that got to live in the earth and they can't be out in sunlight? No, I don't think so. But what I do think, and this can be corroborated, okay? I don't know if you've seen this, but Jennifer Aniston came out one time on a talk show and she talked about how she used this special roller on her face that has these little needles on them, right? And they cut into the skin a little bit. And what she would do is she'd roll that roller with the little needles on it through oil that had been made through, and this is pretty crazy, I know, baby foreskin. Yes. So apparently there is an oil, a substance in baby DNA that these people really are hard to trot over, ladies and gentlemen. These celebrities, okay? So her skin was Rubenesque. It was rosy. It was young looking. So she shared with the audience how, and don't believe me on this, look it up, okay? I'm not fooling with you here. I'm not messing with you. So she would roll this roller, which would, basically inject these hormones, this DNA of these babies, woohoos, what have yous, and it would go into her skin and make her skin young. So when I say a certain form of vampirism, Mike, to your comment again about whether they're not human, Ian, good to see you. Luis, good to see you. These people literally survive off of us. So when I say they're the parasite class, I mean it. So I've also heard of the whole blood drinking thing where they get, infants or young children and adrenochrome. I know you know about that, Matt. You've heard about that. We've jumped down that rabbit hole, right? The adrenochrome thing. So there's so much about this stuff that, Mike, she still does look pretty young. You're right, of course. So there's a reason why these people look the way they look all the way into their 50s and 60s, right? I mean, yes, it could be beauty secrets. Yes, it could be 24/7 maintenance on their health or, personal trainers and personal chefs. Not the Obama chef anymore, guys. Not that guy. As good of a chef as he was, he's not cooking for them anymore. But thanks, Ian. But the fact of the matter is, and I'll get to your comments, Sue. The fact of the matter is that, yes, I do believe them to be parasites. I do believe them to be vampiric in certain formats, in certain venues, if you will, which was, of course, Epstein Island. I don't know, and I hate to say this, we are on Facebook. We're on YouTube. Again, we'll recap here. We're on KCYP, the city, 97.7 FM, McAllen, Texas. Terrestrial radio. We're also on TuneIn Radio. Okay, it's an app. You can check that out. Radio Garden, we're on that too. But we're also on Facebook, the KCYP 97.7 FM Facebook, YouTube, and the Bitcoin Otter Facebook and YouTube. So when I say these things, I don't want to get too explicit because kids can watch this stuff. But the fact of the matter is that yes, they feed off of us in more ways than one. These so-called elites, but as I said, to me, they are parasites. They're the parasite class. So they drink blood. They do the adrenochrome thing. Even like the Jennifer Aniston thing I just went over with the skin. They look very young. They look very good because, well, that's their business, right? So even beyond all of the attention that their millions and millions of dollars gets them, personal trainers, et cetera, there's still something else about what they do that allows them to look youthful all the way into their. Look at Madonna. That I won't say it. I won't say it. But she's just not normal. She's just not a real person in many different ways. Jeff, Scientology, kind of. Yeah, could be. Herman, Jerry, good to see you guys. Scientology. And my wife and I were talking about this the other day, and she was asking me about Scientology, and I said, Scientology was started by a guy, L. Ron Hubbard, was started by a guy who once asked this question of, I don't know if he was at a party or whatever, but he asked this question, says, do you ever want to make a lot of money? And of course, somebody probably asked, or answered, yeah, sure. What do I do? Yeah, what? And he says, invent a religion. And that's just what he did. He invented Scientology. So if you want to become a dedicated Scientologist, oh man, that costs a lot of money. You have to buy your way in, and you have to buy your way up their levels of wisdom, right? It's just crazy. Look it up sometime. But Mike, so do you think anyone will be held accountable for going there? And will it be swept under the table for certain people? And I'm trying to hit that see more thing, but I can't see more of the comment, Mike. I'm sorry. But the gist of it is, do I think that anyone will be held accountable? Yes. But perhaps not in the way that we really want it to be, right? We want it to be public. We want OJ trial kind of thing, but a better result, right? That's what we want. Will it happen? Will they be held accountable, swept under the table for Dems? Well, the fact of the matter is, Mike, that it's more than just Dems, I think. It's all walks of the political spectrum, right? So I don't think so, because I am hoping and I am believing that across from, and if you guys have watched, and I know you have, thank you for watching now, and I know thank you for watching in the past. You've been following what my perspective is on this. I believe that 2024 is going to be a revelatory year for us. We are going to undergo many revelations. We are going to learn many different things. Unfortunately, we're going to undergo a lot of pain, discomfort on the way. So as the good guys, and I do believe that there are good guys, okay? And again, if you want source info, if you want a little bit of sauce on all this stuff, email me at bitcoinotter.media@gmail.com, and I'll throw you some links, and I can walk you through it. I'm walking a few people through step by step right now, the awakening process. So there is so much more to this than you would imagine at first look. So I can help you through that with some sources that you may or may not believe. This is all for you to sift around in your mind and figure out if you want to believe it. But back to your question, Mike. Yes, I do believe that there are going to be people held accountable and perhaps maybe they already have been. Okay. Maybe they already have been that we don't know, behind the scenes sort of thing. So I think that not only will they pay at some point or another, but the Clintons always get a pass. Hell yeah. They always get a pass. Or do they? Has anyone out there seen, you could guys throw it out here, yes, no, why, and whatever. Has anyone seen that video where Hillary falls out as they're bringing her into a van? So it's a 2016 video, and there's this van, one of those big ones, I don't know if it's Mercedes or not, but you've seen them. They're really big. They have they're high, and it pulls up, and there's these people, Secret Service types looking around. They got the earpiece in, and there's a camera looking at this process, right? And there's people at these parking stanchions. They're about, I don't know, this high, cement, right? So you can't drive up. And the van pulls up, and there's Hillary Clinton. And she's being led into this van, and she falls out. She just basically, gets all wobbly-kneed. Okay. Well, a lot of people think that was the moment she was arrested. They sacked her up in that van. So then you might be saying, well, who is she now? Where is she now? Well, that's another rabbit hole. That's another rabbit hole. And there's a few of us that have seen some of the, and again, I can send you some of these videos. The technology that they have today, the mask technology, and I don't know if any of you have seen that. Have you seen the theory where there's like 2 or 3 different Bidens out there? And I know this audience is rather astute. Okay, so you're going to know exactly what I mean when I say this. That you can identify differences in people based on their nose, their earlobes, jawline, spacing of their eyes, things of that nature. Okay. Now, and that I know many of you have learned, okay, because you and I have been to the same places, and we've learned these things. If you apply that discipline to, pictures of Biden throughout different time frames, you'll see that it's not the same dude, man. The earlobes are way different. Some are connected, some are free flying, some are back or forward, whatever it might be on the head. Check it out. Don't take my word for it. Just check it out. But I think, I hope, and I pray, okay, that Maria, good to see you. I think, and I hope and I pray that they either have paid, they're in the process of paying, or they will pay the piper. Okay. But what 2024 is going to be used for, ladies and gents, is a mass awakening. It's called the Great Awakening. Will everyone wake up? No. Will many people wake up? Yes. So those of us that these geeks, okay, like me, Matt, some of the others of you, Mikey, you've been following this stuff, right? I'm beginning to learn that Marcos is in this pretty deep too. Those of us that have been looking at this stuff for years are going to be leaned on, guys. We are going to be needed to bring the rest of the people that are just waking up to speed. Now, perfect analogy in many different ways. Now, this movie, the Matrix, was a great movie. But perfect in many different ways was the analogy of many different phases of that movie. So the one I'm going to point out right now is when Neo was woken up out of that pod. Remember when they showed the just immense, infinite amount of people that are in these pods, just stewing, marinating in their own body fluids, right? So they're marinating and they got these things and then they take Neo out and pop, the hoses start popping off. And that drone with the crane comes down, grabs him, and boom, drops him in the crapper, and then he gets flushed. Well, then Morpheus comes with the Nebuchadnezzar. A lot of biblical undertones in the Matrix, everybody. I should probably do a whole show on that one of these days. But the Nebuchadnezzar, captained by Morpheus, comes in and picks up Neo out of the trash bin or whatever it was, a sewer, whatever it was. So picks up Neo, and then he physically does his undergoes the process of waking up, okay? Because he had been in the Matrix, a computer construct for his whole life, and he's in 20-something years old, and he wakes up. Boom. Well, Morpheus explains to him that it's almost impossible for people at a certain age, and that was one of the ages, that, you could wake up and be alive, survive, that process. So one of the my favorite lines was, he asks, and he's in Neo is in pain, and he's holding his head, and he's doing this. He's like, "Oh, my eyes." And Morpheus says to him, or no, he's saying, my head. And Morpheus says to him, "It's your eyes. You've never used them." A lot of people miss that of the movie, but it pertains so well to our time. We've all used our eyes, but we haven't seen with them. Right? Remember when Jesus says, for those who have eyes but cannot see, for those who can see, those who have ears but do not hear. And some have ears and they hear. There are people that are going to be waking up, ladies and gents, that you and I are going to have to help. And it should be a labor of love. We need to help these people come along. Again, there's going to be people that won't wake up, and they're going to be watching CNN until they die. Hell, they're going to, when CNN dies, which hopefully will be soon, they're going to be watching reruns of it because they just can't get enough. Like the girl on that stupid Netflix movie who had to watch Friends. I don't know if you've seen that movie, but The World They Left Behind. I don't know. Joe, you remember that? What the title of that? Anybody remember Jeff says, yeah, the best line in the movie. Alex, good to see you. So they left the world behind, or the world left you behind, or something. Netflix. It was Obama produced it, right? So leave the world behind. Leave the world behind. Thank you. Leave the world behind. So the Leave the World Behind movie has many different scenes, and I'm losing the thread here. But the fact of the matter is, what they want to do is they want to dissociate us from reality. And they're going to do all they can to do it. So Mike says, yeah, I've seen them comparing his facial features and they're not matching. Yeah, exactly. They're not matching. So who is it? And there's also, and you could look this up on YouTube also, there's a couple different mask videos out there. One of them was from a woman who worked with the CIA for decades. And she was in the disguise department or whatever. You can imagine they're going to have a whole department for disguise, right? In the CIA, but she worked in that department, And I guess she came on to a talk show as a certain person, and she wasn't that person. So I think they demasked her. They took the mask off or something, but she was completely different. Yet the lips were moving, the facial expressions were showing, the technology, and that was like in the 90s. The technology is just insane. So nowadays on Twitter and other places, you're going to see mask lines and stuff where they look, is it all real? No, it's not. But we can see that if there are a group of good guys, white hats, and if they have done what I believe has been done, okay, which is taking control, wrested control from the bad guys, okay, and placed it in its proper place, which is the United States. In my opinion, and I can give you a lot more on this, but I think that we're under some sort of coup. Okay, and those of you who've been in government know what a coup is, right? Continuation of government, and we're in some sort of plan, and it has to do with the Insurrection Act. Okay, and Executive Order 13848. I think it's 13848 that Donald Trump put into play in 2018. Okay. And I have these documents in my office. So those of you that work with me, you know that I have these kind of things. So I think it's a combination of that. The Insurrection Act, because I believe that the insurrection was consummated in November of 2020 when the rigging occurred, the massive amounts of fraud. Okay. Leave the world behind. Yes. Thank you. And once that happened, the preconditions were filled for the Insurrection Act to take effect. So I think that our military has control, and that's one of the reasons why we're not in Ukraine right now, because the bad guys don't actually have control of that facet of our government. Thank God. I believe that the nuclear football is secure. Okay? These are things that I believe. I'm not trying to get you on my train. I'm not trying to bring you into my jackpot, if you will. What I'm trying to say is that there are things underway that we know very little about, but they do help theorizing about it helps explain some things. So, Sue, I missed one of your comments, and I saw FDIC. Okay, so Sue threw out a YouTube video there. I don't know what that pertains to, but maybe she says FDIC below it. So I'm going to touch on that right now. I know you've heard me talk about the Economic Ninja before. If you haven't followed the Economic Ninja, if you haven't looked at the Economic Ninja's content, please do so for your benefit, for your family's benefit. It will help prepare you and maybe even put you in a position to rock the Casbah, as it were, in this 2024 craziness that's going to unfold, meaning you can take advantage of what they're going to do to us. So FDIC, Federal Deposit Insurance Company. So apparently what we're learning, and the Economic Ninja is going through great lengths to educate us, and I think he's still on YouTube, but if not, go to Rumble, and they won't censor his videos on Rumble. So the FDIC, Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation, is the corporation somehow, mixed with the federal government that will insure your deposits in the bank. So you got $10,000 in the bank. There's some sort of bank run. The bank fails, whatever. FDIC will ensure that you get your 10 grand back. Okay. Okay. So she sent the video out there. So grab onto that video, guys. Sue says it's actually a link to the Economic Ninja. So check that video out. She up there, probably in the middle of the comments. She dropped that video link. Thank you, Sue. So in the video, he explains to you that back in November of 2022, I believe, 2022, FDIC, basically made it very clear who they cover, who they do not cover, what banking products they cover, what banking products they do not cover. So if you were under the assumption that because you have money in a bank, it's covered under the FDIC, disabuse yourself of that assumption and investigate for real. Okay? And why would they be doing this, you might ask? Why would they be differentiating between what is and what is not covered a year ago? Because, ladies and gentlemen, they know what they're going to do. They're going to crash this system. They don't want this system anymore. While you and I know that it's a system of oppression and debt, it's still not enough for them. They got to tighten the screws down. How are they going to do that? Central bank digital currencies. Okay, they're going to put, it's sort of like, but nothing like Bitcoin. Bitcoin is decentralized. Nobody controls it. Central bank digital currencies will be ultimately controlled down to the very most detailed point of code. They will know where your money is. They will know how long you've had it. They will know where you have it, how you got it. They will track you as you spend it. They could even, if they want to, put a lifespan on it so that you can't save it. You know, a year down the road, 2 years down the road, your money's gone. Just disappears. They can do whatever they want with it because it's theirs. They control it. And it's codified on a blockchain somewhere. Okay? So that's how they want to go into things. But they got to crash this system first. And they will never, ever fail to take advantage of a crisis, especially one they created. So as they crash the system, we're going to go, you know, our home values, our everything that we've worked for. Okay? Can you say 401k? Yeah. Okay? I don't know. I don't want to scare anybody, but I do want you to educate yourself. Get yourself a plan. Diversify maybe. Okay? But the FDIC, Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation, okay? There's two aspects to this. One, it doesn't cover everything. So make sure you know whether you're covered or not. Two, and I'm asking, this is an honest question. I have my own opinion, but I don't have the answer. I'm asking you, do you really believe that in a widespread banking disaster, the Federal Deposit Insurance Company has enough? Do you believe that? That if everyone in the country is affected to one degree or another, you know, 10 grand here, 100 grand there, 400 grand there, whatever you're affected by, do you think that the Federal Deposit Insurance Company is going to have enough to cover everybody? Okay? These are the kind of questions that we have to ask. Okay? Jesus, he's watching. On that video, says Sue, is a leaked video from an FDIC meeting talking about not informing the public. Yes, thank you, Sue. So on that show, the Economic Ninja, he has a it's like a secret recording, or I don't know how it was recorded, but it was like a little junta between these FDIC gurus, and they're basically throwing around. It's like kind of like in a movie, right? So they're throwing around these terms like, you know, maybe we don't want to publicize this. Maybe we shouldn't really release this to too many people. And again, this was from November of 2022. Okay. November of 2022. And now we're in January of 2024. So, 7 o'clock already, ladies and gents. 7 o'clock. Joanny, how you doing? Joanny's here. I love that name, by the way. Hi, Jesus. How you doing, Chuy? So, I'm telling you, we have a lot of stuff going on. And I also want to say thank you for watching. I think we're having a great time. Like I said, I'll reiterate. Here we are on KCYP, the city, 97.7 FM out of McAllen, Texas, terrestrial radio. We're also on TuneIn, the app, Radio Garden, the app, Facebook, and YouTube, both on 97.7 FM, KCYP, and the Bitcoin Otter Show, and Christopher Ott, me, your humble host. So you can find us in all those places. Now, to close out, and I want to close out on a good note, because we've talked about some very serious things. You know me, most of you. I hardly have any Facebook friends that I don't know, and so one of the young women, okay, that want to get on your friends list and all that. I think I gathered one the other day, and the usual thing. Oh, do we know each other? And I said, no, we don't know each other, but I'm very happily married and very broke. I haven't heard from her back. So the whole Facebook experience, all these things, the Facebook friends that I have, you really know. Good night, Dad. You have a great day, Dad. My dad was watching. Awesome. Dad, have a great day. Hope you like your leaf blower. Dad got a leaf blower for Christmas. You got to love it. I think he likes it. He loves his leaf blower. All right. So, good night, Dad. You know me, and you know that I'm an eternal optimist. But not only am I eternally optimistic, I have a reason to be, because God is who He is, and He doesn't leave us to our own devices unless we push Him away. I have not pushed Him away. I mean, I have before. Don't get me wrong. I have, and I've deeply regretted it. But I am embracing Him right now, because without God in our lives, 2024 is going to be hell on earth. So I invite you to learn about God, to learn who He is and who He wants to be in your life, what role He wants to have in your life. So and who am I? I'm just one of those guys that has to speak out. I'm telling you that we are going to win. The good guys are on a roll. We are winning. It might not look that way, okay? A lot of things are going to happen in 2024 that we might say, hey, Otter, man, what do you mean win? We just, lost this or that or whatever. And I understand that. But I do believe that, and we're 15 days out from January 20. And Matt, if you're still watching, I know you know what January 20 means. And I know a lot of you also know what January 20 means. January 20 is the official inauguration date of presidents of the United States. So I believe that 15 days from now, we will be 1 year out from having the correct person in the White House once again. So that said, I have hope, ladies and gentlemen. I have hope. And I have many reasons for that hope. And I thank you for watching this show. I thank you for tuning in. Okay? I try to give content, information that will enlighten you, help you understand what it is we're going through in our times. And learn myself, because you all know things that I don't know, of course. So thank you for participating. Thank you for tuning in. Man, I love doing this show. Thank you for participating. Have a great week, everyone. BitcoinOtter.media@gmail.com. You want me to talk about something? You got something you want me to learn from, or you think you have something? Please send it my way. BitcoinOtter.media@gmail.com. Send it my way, please. I'll talk about it. We can discuss it. It'll be good, fun. So, God bless you. God bless your families. And keep on keeping on. God bless you.